On me, I have to say. I like it quite a bit. In fact, a funny story, I was at the Princess Cafe yesterday, and I walked into the room, into the cafe, and there was a gentleman sitting at the table who was a regular there, who I actually knew. He's not a New Democrat, he's just a regular there. And I said, hey, how you doing? He said, hey, come and have another coffee with me. We haven't done that in a while. So it was very, very good. You know, it's great to be in this room, to see a lot of the same faces who just a couple of weeks ago did something really fantastic. Right? Did something really fantastic. You actually nominated this woman, Catherine Fife, to be our candidate here in this riding. And you did some other really important things too. You raised a heck of a lot of money that night. And that money has been able to get us things like signs. It's been making the phones ring off the hook. It's been doing all the important things that that donations need to do, including getting our literature. And so I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for your wisdom, and I want to thank you for your generosity. But of course, most of all, I want to thank you for supporting Catherine Fife, who is going to be the next MPP. And you know, like a lot of you in this room, I've had a chance to knock on some doors and to talk to some people here in Kitchener-Waterloo. I've been having a chance to listen, more importantly, to what people in this riding are saying in the context of this by-election. Listening to families who are very, very worried about the future, worried about how secure their paychecks actually are. Listening to families who are pretty unhappy, pretty ticked off with a government that's prepared to spend $190 million in a general election just to save a couple of seats for themselves. Absolutely. I have to say that the families here are telling me that they can't find a family doctor. Or if they have a family doctor, they have to wait weeks and weeks and weeks just to get an appointment to see that family doctor. That's what the people in this riding are telling us. They're telling us that they are tired of a kind of government that simply takes care of its own political skin, that's more interested in its own fortunes than what really matters to the people in this riding and the people of Ontario. We know what an unaccountable majority Dalton McGuinty government looks like. We've been putting up with it for about 9 years in this province, and I think it's time enough for that kind of thing. And I think it's pretty clear that the people in this riding are pretty tired of politics as usual. They're tired about the same old way that politics is getting done in this province. For example, they're tired of things like well-connected friends of Liberals getting big fat raises while everybody else is told that they have to tighten their belts and they can't expect any positive things in the future. While the select few are doing very, very well, people in this community, people in this region, people in this riding are facing increasing hydro rates, and they're facing increasing transit fares. That is not a fair way of doing things in Ontario. They're sick and tired of a government that for the last 5 years has done nothing to deal with some of the outstanding issues in this riding. Right? They've done nothing, but all of a sudden a by-election's here and they're starting to roll out the goodies. Right? We see this with the Highway 7 plan. Right? All of it, and I don't begrudge, honestly, I don't begrudge the people of this community to have good transit systems and good transportation networks. But I gotta say, it makes people pretty cynical about politics when it takes a by-election call for all of a sudden a government to dust off a promise that they made back in 2007. And that's the kind of cynical politics that turns people off. But you know what? Here in Kitchener-Waterloo, I feel it every time I come here, and I was feeling it, you know, before we actually had a writ drop in this by-election. People are ready for change in Kitchener-Waterloo. And they are ready for the kind of leadership that actually delivers for them, delivers for everyday families. You know, there's people in this riding who have never voted NDP before. Never in their lives voted NDP. And they are telling us that they will be voting for Catherine Fife. Because not only are they ready, but they are excited to vote for an MPP who is going to deliver an experienced voice for them. Somebody who is passionate, but somebody who is prepared to deliver results for them. Not self-interest for herself, but results for them, because that's the track record that this woman has in this community. To tell you about that track record. I'm sure everybody is aware of that track record, right? Catherine is the chair of the public school board here in Kitchener-Waterloo, and she delivers when she makes promises. For example, as a passionate advocate for childcare, that is something that Catherine has been able to deliver here in this region, and we are proud of her for that, and so is her community. And that's why people in this riding are prepared to vote for Catherine. They know that they will be electing an MPP that knows their community, that fights for their community, that understands their community. Catherine has represented families in Kitchener-Waterloo for almost 10 years now, almost a decade. She's familiar with the families. She's familiar with the parents. She's familiar with the children. She's met with people regularly in her role as school board trustee, but of course also as she's been a candidate knocking on doors through 3 elections as trustee and 1 election for MPP a couple of years ago. And so they're ready. They are ready here. They are ready to elect an MPP that they already know that they can trust, because they trust her already.
We are ready.
And not only do people here know that Catherine can be trusted, but they also experience her leadership in a very unique way. And it's the way that New Democrats are starting to try to do things, doing things a little bit differently in terms of politics, because they know that Catherine Fife and New Democrats will listen to them. We are listeners, we pay attention to what they have to say, and then we deliver for them. And that's certainly Catherine's track record in this community. And you know, I think everybody also realizes in this community that Catherine is no shirker. She is a hard worker. And they are going to get a hard worker when they elect Catherine as their MPP, just like they get hard workers with every single New Democrat that is in the provincial legislature, and I dare say in the federal legislature as well. And they also know that by electing a New Democrat, they're electing someone who time and time again will be ensuring that their interests come first, that the interests, the concerns of everyday folks are put at the top of the agenda. That's our commitment, and that's Catherine's commitment. You know, Dalton McGuinty thought he could just kind of waltz in here into Kitchener-Waterloo and buy himself a new seat. He thought he could actually manufacture a bit of a crisis, and that the people here would say that, you know, that they agreed with him, that they needed a majority to be able to solve the very crisis that they've created. No way. I think that he thought he could waltz in here and say that by promising, or maybe I should say re-promising, some infrastructure spending, the people in Waterloo would forgive them for being ignored for the last several years. I don't think that that's going to be the case. Dalton McGuinty, I think that we've got some news for you. You are not going to be winning this seat. The NDP and Catherine Fife are going to be winning this seat. So it's a sad day for Mr. McGuinty as we give him the news that he's not going to get his majority on the backs of the people of Kitchener-Waterloo. I think it's very clear that the families in this community and families, frankly, across the province don't want to see another yes man elected to give the Liberals a majority government. Another yes man that's going to sit in the back benches and just roll over while a majority government once again begins to ignore the people of this riding and the people of this province. That is not what we need. That is not what the people of this riding need. And I'm sure it's not what they want. They don't want another trained seal to simply sit there and cheerlead a government that's completely out of touch with everyday families. What they do want, though, is what we're prepared to give them. They want an MPP that is prepared to deliver for everyday families each and every day. They want an MPP like Catherine Fife. And friends, together, every one of us in this room and many, many, many more are going to deliver that for them. We're going to deliver them Catherine Fife as their next MPP.